Hello there, folks, and welcome back to the Slice Tennis News' continued coverage of the Paris Masters 2019. And even though Roger Federer pulled out, a lot of other players have also fallen out of the tournament. Big seeds have fallen. Really interesting matches so far have happened. And we're going to get into some of those biggest stories here on this episode of The Slice. And we're also going to preview Djokovic versus Tsitsipas, the rematch after their big match in Shanghai. So that's all to come on this episode of The Slice.
Welcome to the Slice.
Welcome to the Slice.
Welcome to the Slice.
Thanks for tuning back in, folks. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to get into some of this because the Paris Masters, I feel like, has been a bit of an interesting little gift here at the end of the season with some interesting matches, some players coming back from obscurity, it seems, to make big wins and to put themselves in the quarterfinals now of this tournament. So coming into this tournament, I said a few things like, I think it's more exciting because some of the big players are here and usually they're not. Well, Federer reversed that. He pulled out after the draw had come out because he's old. Like, this is like, did his wheelchair break on the way to Paris? So that's why he couldn't get here. No, but it makes sense that he pulls out of stuff like this, and he's saving himself up for the World Tour Finals, obviously, which are going to be happening in the next week or two. But we're just going to go through some of the biggest matches that have happened so far, some upsets and things like that today, and then we're going to go through the quarterfinals. If you're new here, obviously subscribe, and remember, it's bagel time. And if you want to win more matches, purchase this mug for $14.99. Support the Slice Tennis News independent journalism, and remember, it's bagel time and it'll help you win more because you'll get the right mindset. Link below. So, Medvedev loses to Jeremy Chardy. Now, this is a big topic, I'd say, because it's Medvedev's first bad loss since Wimbledon. Since I've been really tracking this amazing streak he's been on, where he's only lost 3 matches since Wimbledon. First one to Kyrgios in the Washington final, and then 2 to Nadal, who's arguably the other best player in the world currently. So that was a bad loss for him. Jeremy Chardy is not exactly the type of guy you want to be losing to in the second round, but props to Chardy, the Frenchman, for stepping up on home soil and taking it to Medvedev. Grigor Dimitrov, huge fan of him, the Slices, always have been, defeats Dominic Thiem and David Goffin before that. So Grigor Dimitrov's form has come back all of a sudden. Well, obviously he beat Federer at the US Open, so it's been back. But he played unbelievable tennis today. Like, unbelievable. Like, the best tennis I've seen in a while from anyone. Like, it was astounding. His level was so good. Dominic Thiem did not play a bad match, but Grigor did not face a break point, and he just absolutely smashed him. And he just was pulling shots out of everywhere. Backhand was amazing. Just his movement. It really showed his talent today, and it was really cool to see because Grigor's he's hit high-level tournaments. He's won the World Tour Finals. He won a Masters 1000 in Cincinnati. He's been to the semifinals of the Australian Open in recent years, and he's dipped and had a pretty bad 2018 and a pretty okay 2019. But he's had some runs of form here late, and it's astounding to see because you got to remember, all these guys, a lot of people crap on players. You don't know what they've been through, and Grigor Dimitrov is a guy, for example, who's come from Bulgaria as a kid to train in the States. His entire life has been dedicated to the sport of tennis, and it's paid off in certain ways with big wins, but then he hasn't achieved the type of success that some people have thought he could, but he still grinded and kept pushing, and results like this come around. And he's in the quarterfinal, which is, again, isn't the biggest deal, but it's just really cool to see. Anyways, just been a fan of him for a while, and I thought today was really awesome. And then Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, another guy who's come back after a couple years of obscurity, defeats Jan-Lennard Struff for a quarterfinal berth. And that was awesome to watch because he's French. It's in the homeland. And it was tight. Struff's been a good player lately. And that was a great win for Tsonga to get. Both amazing to see, him and Dimitrov. Anyways, what are you getting emotional, Steven? Yeah, maybe. Because our boy Denis Shapovalov also had a big win. Tough year in 2019 for him, kind of. I think it's more of just he had this like fast start at the end of 2017. He was like the new guy on tour in 2018, and then he's kind of settled into being a pro. Oh, when you're pro, you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have to work your way through your seasons. But Shapovalov defeats Alexander Zverev in a pretty close match. Played great, had some amazing shots, just played super good athletic tennis. The highlights from that match were awesome, and that's a big win for Shapovalov. Tough loss for Zverev, but it's like Shapovalov is a good player, so it's not like a brutal loss for Zverev, but you still want to come through that if you're Zverev. Obviously, he looked pretty shook at the end of that match, not going to lie to you. So those are the biggest matches I've seen so far. I've been impressed by some of the young guys like Corentin Moutet. I think I'm saying it right. Let me know, French people. Moutet from France gave Djokovic a pretty tough run for his money in his first match. Looked like he moved better than Djokovic and did a lot of the things that Djokovic used to do to people by frustrating them and things like that. Also hit one of the nastiest tweener lobs I've ever seen over Djokovic. And I don't think Djokovic was too happy about it. But Djokovic has got through him, Moutet, and Kyle Edmund, to now make the quarterfinals, where he will play Stefanos Tsitsipas, who beat Alex de Minaur, who's been playing well lately, obviously making the Basel finals. So in the quarterfinals, this is basically what they're looking like. We got Djokovic, Tsitsipas, and then we have Dimitrov versus Christian Garin, who's a young guy who hasn't really had any good results of late, but great player, had a big win, beat Shardy. He's into his maybe first quarterfinals ever of a Masters. I'm sure it is. Actually, I haven't seen him, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Fact check me, please. And then we got Shapovalov versus either Albert or Monfils. So another great chance for Shapovalov to move into the semifinals of a Masters for the second time this year, using the Miami semifinals when I was there. And then we have Tsonga versus Nadal, which is another juicy matchup because these guys have some history. So let's get into these two matchups with Djokovic and Nadal. So we got Djokovic versus Tsitsipas, the rematch. And an interesting dynamic here in this rematch is they obviously just played in Shanghai with Tsitsipas coming through. And that match, if I remember correctly, he looked like he was frustrating Djokovic with his level. He just played kind of bigger. It was a very tight match, but Tsitsipas just didn't wilt, had belief, and came through. And I believe in this match, he'll have just as much belief, if not more, because he now has a positive head-to-head record against Djokovic. That's just 2-1, very close. But both matches that Tsitsipas has won have been on hard courts. Djokovic won on the clay in Madrid, so that's the slower one, the slowest court of the three. And it seemed to me when I was looking at the stats, the faster courts favor Tsitsipas' serve, which is proven to cause some troubles for Djokovic. So this is going to be a fast indoor court. So I'm kind of leaning Tsitsipas. I think he's going to come out guns a-blazing, and I think he's stepping it up here at the end of the year. So very interested to see that match if I can. If not, I'm sure there'll be some serious highlights coming out of it. So keep an eye on that one. Who do you got, Djokovic or Tsitsipas in that match? Also, we have Nadal versus Tsonga. Some veterans, some old pros on the ATP Tour doing battle again right now. The head-to-head is 9-4 in favor of Nadal. And I would say he's definitely the favorite right now because he's looked good. His outfit also looks super fresh at Paris, if I don't mind saying that. He obviously won the U.S. Open and Montreal, the ATP, the Rogers Cup up in Canada. So he's looking good. But Tsonga is playing. He's got momentum with him. He's got the French people on his side. They're loving it. He's on home turf here. Didn't have to travel far for his tournament. So he could have a chance to cause an upset here, which would be crazy to be in the semifinals of Paris. But that's what we've come to know about Paris, is that you can't really expect much. We've had Khachanov winning last year, and the year before that, Jack Sock, who has subsequently fallen off the face of the earth, reappearing annually at the Laver Cup. But Paris is definitely not disappointed in its excitement level, and I'm really excited for these quarterfinals because we're getting some different looks. Garin versus Dimitrov, what? Shapovalov versus probably Monfils or Albert. I'll check right now actually to see if that match is over. But no matter what, and Gael Monfils has won. That's breaking news, folks. So it will be Gael Monfils versus Shapovalov, two of the most athletic guys on tour, and that's going to be exciting. So that's something often see in a quarterfinal. And then we got Tsonga, Nadal, Djokovic, Tsitsipas. This is called a juicy quarterfinal roster. So let me know your picks down below. Who's your favorite to win the tournament? Honestly, for me right now, looks like Nadal. Nobody was giving Nadal a chance, but Tsonga really shouldn't be a problem. He should get through that, but you never know. Then he's going to play someone more inexperienced, and then he could sneak up the thing. Djokovic has got in tough with Tsitsipas. Guys, I don't know what's going to go on here. All I do know is you should definitely check out the Slice merch on the link below. It'll take you to our website where you can also check out how to be involved in the Front Row Show. New episode coming out this weekend where we're going to talk about things that we won't talk about on the YouTube channel because you get to ask the questions and I'll answer them and we'll talk about them. Check us out in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you very soon with a little bit more Paris Masters action from your boy Stephen Boughton at the Slice Tennis News. Thanks, guys.